Last year for Christmas, our daughter bought us a subscription to Masterclass. And over the past year, I've watched a bunch of videos, and I got the idea, well, people have asked me about helpers and how do I do this and how do I do that. And most of the time, I usually don't answer the questions. Well, I shouldn't say I don't answer questions. I usually answer. I just don't know how to do this. I don't know how to explain what I do when I create a helper for folks. This is Brian Martin, by the way. Um, and so we're going to do a series of videos. The first one, we're going to demonstrate a helper, how it works, and give you a little bit of a look at a finished one. And then hopefully future videos in the series will actually go through how you can develop one and how you can build one. So if you're willing to do a little bit of research, willing to go Google the things that I ask you to Google, if you're willing to put a little research into finding out more about certain functions in Excel and how they work and how they function, I'm not going to be able to go through and uh, what I'm looking for. I'm not going to be able to teach you Excel and go through what every function is and how it all works and how to create it. But we're going to show you a little bit behind the scenes of how this particular helper works. And so to be cheesy like the masterclass videos, I'm Brian Martin, and this is my masterclass on helpers for sports games. So what you're looking at is the completed helper for History Maker Baseball. Now, I use helper to define things in one of two ways. A helper to me is either something that is a chart reader that allows you to, it rolls the dice for you and does the table lookups, and then you play the game on the board with moving the cards and flipping the cards and recording things, or a helper that actually plays the game. This helper is a board reader. It has all the results in it, and so by clicking on these different buttons, I can get the results that I want transmitted to the screen. Then I can use the cards that I have laid out and play the game. And I've also got a feature here down in this corner called Score Play, where I can actually treat it like a scorer, an official scoring software. And I've programmed it. And what I'm going to do is, before we get started, I'm going to play an inning, maybe two innings of a baseball game between the Alberta Clippers and the Buffalo Wild Wings, or the Buffalo Wings, and we're playing at Buffalo Wild Wings Park in Buffalo, New York. And we're going to just go through two innings. I'm going to talk you through the game process as I would be playing it, and we're just going to click some buttons. Then I'm going to show you how this program works kind of behind the scenes. I'm going to show you a couple of the pages where the charts are. I'm going to show you how certain things work in a very generic sense. Show you the macros that are used in some cases, and then we'll stop. And then the next videos that I do, 1, 2, 3, 5, however many they wind up being, will be how do you go from a screen that looks like this, all blank, to a screen that looks like that. And there's a method to the madness, and we'll get into that in the future. So hopefully these videos will help you do some things. First, a couple of disclaimers. One, none of those things, none of the helpers that I show, and I'll really only focus on this one. It's the only one I'll really show you. None of the helpers that I have, I can share. They contain copyrighted materials by Play Games or other games that I have, so I can't share them with you because they have all of it. It'd be like giving you the game books for free, and I can't do that. I won't do that. Second disclaimer, I understand that because I can't share it, people have an impression of why I do this. I've been attributed all sorts of behaviors to why I do what I do. Many of them centering around, my personal ego. And while it is nice to share these things and show them, I'm not doing it to rub anything in anybody's face. People create cards, they create house rules, they create courses, they create all sorts of stuff that gets posted. And I've never once thought of those folks as being egotistical about it. They've done something they like, they're good at it, and they share it with people. and I don't fault them for that. So my sharing these things with folks over the years has been just, here's what you can do. Like if you've been wondering how could I do it, here's a way to do it, and hopefully the visual appeal gets people thinking about how they might be able to do these things. So um, attribute as you will my motivation, but my real motivation is I just want to inspire folks to try these things on their own if they've wanted to, and hopefully these videos will inspire you to get out there and do stuff, because we're going to show you some of the tips and tricks. So let's get right to a game here. Um, uh, Alberta's batting first, so we're going to click here. This is the normal button for the normal play. You'll notice the dice roll. There's a little green box here. That would be the decider die. This is a roll for the mini chart, and these are other, excuse me, dice rolls that you might need as the game progresses. This is a counter. That counter is a way for me to know that the dice got rolled, because sometimes the same numbers will come up on back-to-back rolls. It's possible. And with the counter, if the counter changes, you'll say, oh, okay, well, it must have rolled the dice. And that way you can have back-to-back dice rolls and not think that your program's broken. So struggler single. So Adam Diamond is up first, facing Dave Kramer. Kramer's not a struggler. Diamond is neither a hero, is neither a champion or patient. So we go to infield drama for our first play. And we look at the shortstop. The shortstop for Buffalo is Drew Myers. He is not iron, and therefore it's a ground out. And down here it tells me that the ground out is the shortstop. That's been randomized, and as we go through, I'll show you how some of that stuff works. The grounder's for the shortstop, and so I'll use my score play, and I'll show you what this does as we later on after I've done a few things. We type in 6-3 for the play, and we hit score play, and we move on. You'll note now that this says 1 out, and now the batter is player number 4, and that is Matt Grayson, the second baseman. So we now go back to the normal chart. Unusual result, it's telling me I need a red 1, and it's a red 1 3. So we click on that. We look at the right fielder. The right fielder for Buffalo is Devon Houston. He is not iron, so it's a fly out. And normally you use the finders here, but because it went to the right fielder, we now know that's a fly out to right field. So we type a 9 in here, and we hit score play. There are now 2 outs. The batter is player number 6, and that's a uniform number, not a player number. Chris Grove, the shortstop. He'll bat. He is not eager, and therefore it's based on balls, but Grove is not active, so he doesn't steal. You'll notice that the cursor always drops to this particular place here, so I can type in BB for walk and hit score play. And now the batter is number 3. Excuse me, I need to take a beverage drink there. And so we're ready to go again. That was a purple result, so that means we now go to the chemistry chart. The first game of the season, no one's dissonant, no one's harmonious, so this is a no to dissonance. It's a ground out to the second baseman, and when I play with 2 outs, a ground out to the second baseman is always a 4-3 play. If it's to the shortstop with a runner at first base, it'll be 6-4, a little 6-4 flip to end the inning. So we hit score play again. You'll notice that Alberta's thing is now red because there are 3 outs made on the inning, so we click the radio button for Buffalo to set Buffalo to come to bat, and now they're ready to go. It'll be Andre Boston, the center fielder. The pitcher is fresh. That is Paul Storm. Put a K in the score play. We click score play, and there's now 1 out as we go to Dawson Chase, the left fielder. Storm is not a struggler. Chase is a semi-champion, and the decider die says he is a champion, so that's a base on balls. And so that will put Chase on at first base for Scott Trimble. That's uniform number 4. Storm is not a struggler. Trimble is not patient. It's a grounder thumb. If he's a whiffer, he's not a whiffer, it'd be a strikeout, but this is a grounder, and because the lead die is a 1, it's a double play. It's a ball hit to the third baseman. So in score play, it's a 5-4-3. We hit enter and we hit score play, and you'll watch what happens. It records 2 outs. There are now 3 outs in the inning. Buffalo has reached its 3rd out, and we have to go to the next inning. So we click the next inning button. We click on the Alberta radio button, and we'll do a quick 2nd inning here while we have you. It'll be Graham Seaver, the 3rd man up in the Alberta lineup. Or, I'm sorry, it will be John Scott, the left fielder. Dave Kramer is a semi-star. It's a grounder, so it's a 6-3. Because over here again, it's the shortstop. Hit score play. And batter number 5, that's Buck Trenton, the 3rd baseman. The pitcher is fresh, so it's a pop out to the 2nd baseman, so we do P4 as opposed to just plain old 4. And score play, and that will bring up player number 2, that's Chris Duncan, the catcher. Kramer's not an ace. Duncan is a semi-whiffer, but it's not, the decider die is not there. Infield drama is the 3rd baseman, and that is Trevor Holland. Is he iron? He is not. It's a ground out to the 3rd baseman. Normally, again, you'd look at this infielder here. If the 3rd baseman weren't there, it'd be an unassisted play to the 1st baseman. But because it says the 3rd baseman, we do a 5-3. We hit score play. Alberta's 2nd inning is over. We click to Buffalo now and go to Buffalo's next batter, who is batter number 3. That's Austin Harlan. If the catcher is gold, that is Duncan. He is semi-gold, but no decider. Is he a champion? Harlan is not a champion. It's outfield drama. Is the left fielder gold? That's John Scott. He is not. So it's a double, but he's not iron. So we don't have to worry about that. So we put a D in there for double, and we hit score play. And Harlan is on at 2nd base with nobody out. We're going to bunt, and a bunt is just done by just clicking the norm button, but reading the bunt thing. Bunt single, advance 1. So Drew Myers bunts, and he's at 1st. And we put an S for single. And runners now at 1st and 3rd with nobody out. And it will be Chris Roper, the catcher. Infield will play in, the runner at 3rd. Paul Storm is not wild. Roper is eager, and it's a single. If he was a whiffer, it's a thumb, and that is a single. Harlan will score, and Drew Myers, who is normal, will advance 1 base. So it'll put runners at 1st and 2nd, and we'll call that the game. That's a game-winning RBI single. So put an S in that box, put a 1 RBI there, and for the runner, we say that runner number 3 has scored. We hit score play. Buffalo wins this game 1-0. So in a very short period of time, we've shown you how the helper actually works. So let's look behind the scenes. Really quickly, you will want to have a control panel. The control panel has all of the buttons and whistles and everything that control how the windows operate, controls the dice counter, determines what the lead die is. These different letters that you see here are the color codes that determine which colors these cells turn. So there's a control panel. The more you can bring to the front page of your helper, the better off you are, and put them off to the side. And normally these rows are hidden, so you don't see them, but I wanted to show them to you that there is a control panel here to do those sorts of things. So what's behind the scenes? Well, first of all, we have our charts. Here's the norm chart. This is the norm chart. Here's all the results for all of the different dice rolls. These little letters here that you see to the right of different results are the color codes. There's G for gray, B for black, B for blue, P for purple, K for black. There's O for orange. And so those, when they on the norm page, when the dice roll is made, the dice roll appears here, and it then does a lookup. And if you look here, it says there's a formula that says VLOOKUP A60 A2, and it looks at this whole table and pulls in all the results for 3, 5, 6. And that's how that works. And then those feed into the helper. And you'll notice that it's blank now, and that's because these control panel cells all say 0 here. It means that the windows are off. There's always a result behind there, but this conditional formatting I have says that whenever this is 0, to make it white text on white background so you can't see them. They're always there. Every single result that's been rolled for all the chart books is right there. You just only see the ones you need to on any given play. So let's take a look at something like the fence chart. That looks almost like the fence chart you get in the game itself, and that works the way it needs to work. We have the ballpark. This is the ballpark results and how that works. The umpires is the umpire chart with runners at first and third. And so again, the dice roll is here, and that comes from this front thing. See, 3-5 is actually, or 5-3 is actually 3-5. So the umpire at first and third, there's 35, and if you look, 35 is second baseman. Second base umpire lenient, R1 steals second, R1 caught stealing second. That's what those results are. And if we were to click, and I can, if we were to click the umpire first and third button, it would show you, well, it changed because it did a different dice roll now. It's dice roll 14. If the home plate umpire is lenient, there's a fly out, the runner on third scores. If he's not lenient, there's a fly out, the runner at third is out at home, and it's a double play. So that's how those feed in. We have a chart for everything. Every single possibility is here. Here's all of the base running results, and those populate the reader based on what on base situation, what the lead die is. So this one brings in all the things that are related to the base charts for the lead die of 1. Now the score play and the scoreboard actually are two things that I just added to this over the last summer, and it's allowing me to create a scorebook. And what I've done, and I can add to this, is I've tried to put down every single play that there would be in the game, and it doesn't include all of the rare plays, but they can be added as you run into them. And so you see here, SDTHR, single, double, triple. And then there's a value for each thing. Is it a plate appearance? Is it an at bat? Is it a hit? What's the description of the play? How many outs does this play record? Is there an error? If there's a put out and assist, who got the first and second put out? Who got the first and second assist? Who got the error? Who participated in the double play? Or is it a double play? And if so, then this column is who are the players that participated in that double play? Why is this important? Because the score tracker, remember all those things we did? We go to the tracker sheet, and here they are. Here they are. Okay, I'll give you a quick look at the scorebook. At the bottom of the scorebook, when the play is entered in, this by the way has a calculate function that only hits whenever you hit F9 or you type the word calculate in the macro. So when it knows the play number, when I type the K in and I hit the score button, the first thing it does is it basically hits the F9 key automatically. It then looks up the values in these columns, then turns around and copies all of that as plain text into this section here. And so you can see there was the first inning, ground out to the shortstop, fly out to right, then there's a walk and a ground out to the second baseman. Then there's formatting here that automatically puts those lines in to make it more readable for you. Inning number 2, strike at bottom of the first, struck out, walked, and a ground out third to second to first, double play. Then the 3 outs for the top inning, and then double, single, single, along with an RBI and a run scored. Those then are run through these formulas that I did to create these codes. These codes then become the basis for being able to look at the statistics and generate the stats for each of the players. So if we look at Buffalo, there's the run scored by number 3, Austin Harland, after his double. And there's the RBI by Chris Roper that happened 2 plays later on the single. There's the outs that were recorded, only recorded 3, and there's the 3 guys that were involved in that 5-4-3 double play, the assists, and then the pitching stats. Alberta's number 30 face three, got 3 outs, faced 6 guys, 5 at bats, 1 run, 3 hits, a double, a walk, and a strikeout. So this helper not only plays the game, or not plays the game, but gives you the charts, but it also allows you to keep score if you want to. And that's what I plan on using for my play league. So that's a basic look at a helper. One of the things that you can do, I'll give you a quick look here at the Visual Basic sheet. And you go into Developer and you click Visual Basic, and all macros are written in a module. I've collected all the modules. There's one called Dice Bucket for rolling the dice. There's an Auto Compute. There's the routine for the dice roll. It sets all these different values to 0 or blank. Then here's what happens when you hit the norm button. It does a dice roll, and then it sets the range in the window for whether the window is on or off at 1. And then the calculate actually allows it to show the result on the screen. There's the infield drama button. There's the chemistry button. There's the fence button. There's the reset button that clears all of the values and sets the different flags to 0 or 1. There's the umpire, first base umpire chart. There's the home next at bat, which basically increments the at bat so we know who the next guy is. There's the one that records the play. It copies things from here to there and pastes it here. There's some if statements, some, if this is 1 and A, etc., etc. It clears the values. This is how we clear the tracker when we hit the reset button, the next inning button, clearing the play. And so those are macros that get built into the game and are there for in behind the scenes running all the buttons. So that in 20 plus minutes is a quick sample inning and an overview of what's in the helper. When we go to do these videos, we're going to start with a blank Excel workbook and work our way forward to show you how we set up the first page for you to be successful in designing the look that you want for your game. And then we're going to start going into how you build the tables and how you get them to relate back to the game board, and then talk about how the macros work and how we can get things like a score play feature added in that you can track plays and track data. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully this will be the first of what will be a few. I don't know how many it will take. Depends on how much effort I'm willing to put into it. I don't guarantee that they'll happen every week or every other week, but we'll try and do them a little more often. And at the end, have a nice series of videos that will make up my masterclass for building a helper, a game book reader helper for your sports gaming pleasure. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Enjoy, and until next time, good gaming, good night. We'll see you again soon.